We're very, very happy to have Alex Jones. Now, I've known about Alex Jones for more than a decade. For those of you who listen to the Saturday special, I've had him on 2 or 3 times in the last decade. I knew he was a great, great guest. They don't make better guests than Alex Jones. And I knew that he hosted his own radio show, a television show too. But I knew that he hosted his own syndicated radio show. But I never really thought that it would be appropriate for this particular area. And boy, was I wrong. Glenn Fisher, stand up. Okay, this is the man whom I've known for almost 20 years who wouldn't stop. It's like a Gila monster that'll hang on until sundown. Glenn would not stop working on me, saying, you've got to put Alex Jones on KSCO. You will be amazed at what happens. Glenn was right. And every day that passes, I'm more astounded. Now, I'm real curious. The light's sort of blinding me, so I keep doing the visor thing. How many of you in this room are here because you heard about Alex Jones being here at this event on KSCO or KLY? Show of hands, please. Okay, it looks like, and maybe up in the balcony, maybe a third. So does that mean the rest of you, the 2/3 of the people here, aren't even aware of KSCO and KLY because you've heard Alex on the internet? Show of hands, please. Internet. I would say 2 to 1. 2 to 1. So it's another thing. It's another wonderful thing that's happened here because Alex Jones, us having Alex Jones and Alex Jones promoting KSCO and KOY on the internet has helped us too. Talk about a symbiotic relationship. That is just wonderful. So, anyhow, that is, I got to tell you a little bit of the story here. A year and a half ago, Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly gave notice that he was getting out of the talk radio business. And at KSCO, as soon as he announced that on Fox News Channel, oh my God, the phones were ringing. They were just ringing off the hook from every syndication company in the world, saying, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do to replace Bill O'Reilly on your radio station?" And the people kept saying, and the people were instructed to say, "We're going to do locally originated programming because we want to serve our community." And you could hear the thuds of people falling, because no one does locally originated. Everything's canned in this world now. There's nothing original. So anyhow, and then Glenn went to work on me and said, "Now I know this guy is syndicated, and I know you don't want to have any more syndicated. You want to replace it with local, but what are you going to do for local?" And I said, "I don't know. We'll figure something out." Well, in the meantime, while you're thinking about what to put on for the local program to replace Bill O'Reilly, why don't you do an experiment? An experiment? Alex Jones. Oh, okay. Oh, geez. So we put on Alex Jones for an experiment for a week. Where's Evergreen? Evergreen, are you here somewhere? Are you in the back? Okay, within 2 or 3 days of putting on Alex Jones, I was walking out of the radio station one day and a stranger walked up to me and said, "Are you MZ?" And I said, "Yeah." And he reaches out his hand to shake my hand, and there's a $100 bill in it. And I said, "Wow, what's this?" He says, "It's a $100 bill. Haven't you seen a $100 bill before?" She said, "That's for you." And I said, "Why?" "Because you're carrying Alex Jones." I said, but it's only an experiment. We don't know that this is gonna be a permanent thing. We're just putting it out there to see how it goes. He says, "Doesn't matter that you put him on for even 1 hour. You've earned this money." Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff. So anyhow, here we are a year and a half later, and Alex is on both stations. We broadcast him live on our smaller station, KOMY AM 1340, weekday mornings from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, opposite Rush Limbaugh, who was on our biggest station at that time. We also put him on our bigger station several hours later from 7 or 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. depending upon whether we have another program that's under contract at 7 to 8. In any case, that's what that is our story. I don't want to take up any time. You paid to come here. Some of you, gentlemen here, from where? Atlanta, Georgia. Somebody else I know from North Carolina. My God.
Ireland.
What is
Ireland.
this? You came from Ireland? Powerful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. There's an old Buffalo Springfield song called There's Something Happening Here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a message over there through that door, and that man is named Alex Jones. Recognizing some very important, wonderful people.
In fact, there's Dr. Stan right there. Listen. You folks are awesome. Hey, all of you are awesome, and I am honored and blown away that you came to hear me tonight. Come here tonight to hear me talk, but now we're going to take your questions and comments, and it's awesome to see lovers of liberty. But there has been somebody for 48 years, a medical doctor who knew about the eugenics plan, that when I came to town, I called him a few weeks ago and said, please come. He said, I don't know. And the day I called him and I said, you're coming to speak for at least 15 minutes before I speak. And then if he'll stay during the intermission, we're going to have some other speakers before I come back for part 2. He's Dr. Stan Monteith. Because back in the late 1950s, when people demonized you and attacked you 100 times more than they attacked me, because all this stuff's coming true now, this guy was an icon who stood up against them, and he does 4 or 5 hours of radio every day warning the planet. And so I wanted, I know most of you know him, but I came to hear not just you and not just to give a speech, but to talk to Dr. Stan Monteith. So I wanted to spend 15, 20 minutes crystallizing the fact that he's seen this huge awakening and where society's going, and for us to count the cost and decide which side of this equation we're on. Liberty or tyranny? You go ahead, sir. You got the floor. You take it away.
Well, I'm not going to take very long because I think that Alex really is doing the most amazing job. You know, I've been at this for 48 years now. But I've never seen as much enthusiasm as I've seen in the last few years. And things are getting worse and worse. Now, don't believe them when they tell you that things are going to get better. That the housing market's going to stabilize? No, it's not. The housing market's going to continue to fall, and more people are going to continue losing their homes. They tell you that the jobs are coming back. The jobs are not coming back. They've been sent overseas, and they're going to stay there. Why are they going to stay there? Because there is a plan. Now, most people really don't know what the plan is, but it's called globalism. It's an organized effort to lower the living standards in the United States and raise the living standards throughout the world so we can have a one world government, a one world religion, and a one world ruler. Now, if you want to document this, It's all in something called the Earth Charter, written by Stephen Rockefeller, the nephew of David Rockefeller, by Mikhail Gorbachev, and by Maurice Strong. And there in point 10A of the Earth Charter, they say, we're going to have equitable distribution of wealth between nations. Now, how do you get equitable distribution of wealth between the United States and China? Why, you lower living standards in the United States, and you raise living standards in China and in India and all throughout the world. And this is really what's happening, but they cannot tell the American people because most of you are so selfish, you don't want to give up your home. You don't want to give up your pension. You don't want to give up your Social Security and your Medicare benefits and all the wonderful things that we have in this country. But you must understand, ladies and gentlemen, the America we have known has ceased to exist and will never exist again during our lifetime. But the one thing we can hope is we're going to be able to preserve an element of freedom. Now, how are they sending our jobs overseas? Well, it's a process known as offshoring manufacturing. And what we do is we take a manufacturer and we say to them, look, you're paying 35% corporate income tax in the United States. How you'd like to not have to pay any taxes at all. You move your factory over to China, you don't have to pay any corporate taxes, you can keep that money, you can invest it throughout the world, you can set up new manufacturing in all sorts of countries. How many of you here, if you were offered that, opportunity to make hundreds of millions of dollars, wouldn't take the opportunity? And that's what our great corporations are doing. Furthermore, they can get abundant labor. There's all sorts of labor over there, cheap labor. They don't have to put up with the bureaucracy, the harassment they have here. They do not have to actually pay unemployment insurance, workman's compensation insurance, FICA taxes. They're actually given loans. You can get a loan if you go over there. We're doing everything we can to encourage our corporations to move overseas. And of course, the reason they do that is because they can bring their products back in here because we don't have taxes. What we need to do, of course, is to protect our economy. Yes, it'd be nice to help the rest of the world, but first of all, we've got to save America. And anybody who talks about tariffs now is called a protectionist. Oh, you're a protectionist. Why don't you know if we put up tariffs, why we would have all sorts of people out of work? If we put out tariffs, we'd have tremendous trade deficits. Ladies and gentlemen, we have people out of work. The real unemployment is not 9.6%. It's close to 20%. If you use the U6 unemployment figures, which are put out by the Bureau of Labor Statistics but never mentioned by the controlled media, and then you take away the birth-death ratio, it comes up to over 20%. If you calculate unemployment today, as they did during the Great Depression, over 20%, how many times have you heard that from Rush Limbaugh? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand, number one, the press is controlled in America. It's controlled by 5 or 6 great corporations. 90% of the press is controlled through interlocking directorates. And we're talking about Time Warner, Bertelsmann, which is a European corporation, Viacom, which runs CBS, Disney, which runs ABC, Fox, which runs the Wall Street Journal, and Fox News, that's Rupert Murdoch. And then, of course, the 6th is Comcast. They just bought up General Electric, and they just bought up NBC. Most people don't understand that literally all of the major news magazines and major newspapers and the major networks are intertwined in what I call the Brotherhood of Darkness, intertwining in the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, and all these things that Alex talks about and he's talked to you many times about. But they have an organized program to destroy this country. Now, first of all, you offshore our manufacturing. 8 million jobs are gone. They're not coming back again. They're outsourcing our jobs. And that means, of course, Obama recently gave $23 million to an educational facility over in India.